In this video, we'll be looking at what is sequence, selection, and iteration. Also, we'll be looking at how do I get started on the microbit, and then how do I send my work on microbit. So we'll just go through this bit by bit. First question, what is sequence? A sequence is a series of steps in a logical order. A computer can only do what it's programmed to do. If the steps are programmed in the wrong sequence, the computer will perform those tasks in this sequence, even if it's incorrect. So for example, you might ask a robot or a computer to put on shoes and then put on socks. Now obviously we know that that's in the wrong order. You need to put your socks on before you put your shoes on. But a computer will just follow those instructions without asking any questions. It will just do it without thinking, because that's what a computer does. It just follows the instructions it's given. So that is why we need to make sure we give our instructions to the computer in the right order. Selection is a decision or a question that allows a choice to be made. Sometimes in our programs we might need to ask a question because it's reached a step where one or more options are available. So depending on the answer, the computer will follow certain steps and ignore others. When we're programming, we use if statements for this. So we might have the question of, is it raining? If it is raining, then we'll bring our umbrella. Otherwise, we will leave the umbrella at home. We did a lot of work on this before when we were looking at our spreadsheet module. Iteration is a fancy word for repetition. Another word for it is a loop. There are two types of iteration. Count controlled, which will do something a certain amount of times. For example, you could say, step forward 10 times. Or condition controlled. This keeps doing something until it is told otherwise. For example, step forward until you reach the end of a path. Both of these are repeating themselves. They are both iteration, but they're two different types that we need to learn about or know about. So stepping forward 10 times, you're still going to be repeating the stepping forward, but you're only going to do it 10 times. And then condition controlled, step forward until you reach the end of the path. The end of the path might be 10 steps away, but we don't know that. So we have to tell it to step forward until you reach the end of a path. Okay, so we've talked about sequence, selection, and iteration. So how do I get started on the microbit? Well, what you'll need to do is go onto the internet, and then you'll want to search for microbit. Just M-I-C-R-O bit, B-I-T. So, and then down here it says let's code. Okay. Now you've got a few different options here. You'll want the make code editor. Okay, and then if you've logged on for the first time, it should look something like this. If you scroll down, you've got lots of different options here. But what I'd like you to do at first is just stick to these ones here. You can scroll along to see some of the other options, and this will allow you to do some tutorials. Once you've finished all of these, so this week I want you to have a go at all of these, and next week I want you to have a look at least one of these games. If you're having fun doing this, then you can of course do some more, but make sure you're not ignoring other work that you have to do at the same time. So you'll be learning how to make a rock, paper, scissors game, for example, or some looking at like Crashy Bird type games. So some of these games won't work without a physical microbit. Usually in school, we would let you access a physical microbit, one that you have in person, that you can connect to different things and plug into the computer. But unfortunately, because you're at home, you won't be able to do it with a real microbit. But when you access these tutorials, or even if you just click on new project like this, if you give your project a name, my first project, you click create, and then just wait for that to load, you'll see, if you wait for this to load, that there's this black thing here. This is called a microbit. You've got two buttons, A button, B button, and you've got these bits at the bottom as well. And then you've got these grey bits here, which on a physical microbit are LEDs. So these are little lights that can light up red when you tell it to do certain things. And you can, a bit like we've done with Scratch before, you can just drag in blocks, and you can kind of do this. Let's make a little square, and then once it's loaded, you can press play, and it will show you what your code is doing. Okay, now you'll want to make sure, once you're done, if you click home, you keep going through all of these different options here. If you click flashing hearts and start tutorial, there's also a video lesson which will allow you to watch someone do it as well. But it tells you learn how to use the LEDs and make a flashing heart, and then press OK. And then it will tell you what you need to do, and it will tell you exactly how you do it. It also doesn't have all of the options, because all you need is certain things. You don't need everything. So you place the show LEDs into the forever block, and you follow the instructions, do what it tells you to do, keep clicking next. And then once you're done, this is when you click finish. At the top, you'll want to click share, and then make sure it's called whatever you want it to be called, and then click publish project. And then you've got a URL here, a web address. If you click on copy, and then what I want you to do is create a list of these URLs. So once you finish one of them, you're going to paste one in. In fact, what you might want to do at the top, you might want to say Mrs. McMaster's code, something like that. But instead of Mrs. McMaster, you put your own name. So Sophie or Adam, whatever your name is, you put that in there, and you're going to paste the link for that one. And then once you finish that one, you can go back and you can go on to the next one, and then start tutorial, and then again. So follow the tutorial, go through it. Once you're done, so go through. Obviously, I just kind of skip through that. You'll need to complete the tasks it tells you to do. You click share, publish project, then copy, and then go into your Word document and do your next one. What I'd like you to do for this week is, make sure you have completed all of these tutorials, just the ones at the top. There are only 6 to do, and they shouldn't take you too long. If you want a bit of a challenge, you can have a go at some of these games as well. Okay, but that's the main thing that I would like you to do next week. So try and make sure that you have a go. The main things I would like you to do as well. So second project. Make sure you have used you've used selection, which is your logic. So if, and then you drag it into, say, that one, and then you want You still want logic if, say for example, something equals something else, or something is more than something else. You drag that into this block here, then it will, I don't know, show a number or show some LEDs or whatever. Make sure at some point you use an if statement this week. Okay. Next week, I want you to have a go at making sure you have used a loop. So either repeat this many times, or while something is true, or you're going for an index from this many to this many. Okay, so in your tutorials it will probably show you how to use these if statements and loops, but just have a go at those two things, and make sure once you're finished each one you create a link. If you forget, if you go, hang on, oh I haven't done that one, you can always go back to them and go through and go, oh that's the one I haven't done yet, I'll just make sure I click share, publish project, and then you can copy that link into here. Okay, hope you enjoy that project. Please send me what you've done. So once you've finished, save this document and then just send that to me, or you can just copy and paste it into a comment. Please let me know if you need any help with this, if you're stuck with anything, but make sure you've watched this video and understood what it's doing. Try and figure out what it's doing first before you ask any questions. Okay, that'll be it for the time being. I hope to see you another time soon. Bye.